we're up bright and early. I think these actually come out at 6 a.m. Pacific time, so I gotta be up even earlier than 6:30. So we'll figure it out. But sisters, sisters time. It's sisters. My jorts soiled, absolutely soiled. No clean jorts allowed today. I have not actually read this yet, so I'm going into this totally blind, just because I don't know. I'm a little spooked. Sisters are my favorite faction. They are a very unique faction in what they do, and Miracle Dice in particular are a fundamental mechanic that can piss some people off, but I really like it. I hope it stays, but I don't think it's going to stay. I think we're gonna lose Miracle Dice. I think we're gonna get it replaced. We'll see. Adepta Sororitas, the Sisters of Battle. You know, I think I could have done like the Holy Trinity, but that's fine. That's fine. It works out. You know, I gotta be honest. This was actually a cover art I never particularly loved. I thought Sisters cover art one was a little bit mid compared to the 8th cover art. 8th Sisters cover art, just because this is very important. You know. Wow, this is very weird. Yeah, this one. This was the old one. This one goes really hard, if I think. But the last one, it's all right. All right. How do you fight the feeding frenzy of the encroaching Tyranids? With fire and faith. Thanks to the ironclad belief of the great and gracious God Emperor, the devout warriors of the Sororitas perform literal miracles on the battlefield. Yes. The God Emperor guides their aim. Their battle hymns reach a crescendo. Leading an army of hardened zealots and crazed penitents, the Adepta Sororitas bring the God Emperor's light to the galaxy's darkest corners. Using their faith as a shield, they drive back the alien, the traitor, the witch, anything else that may stand in their way. Damn, that is a good-looking combination of models. Hey, it's my Night Lords too! Wow, this is all for me. This whole thing is for me. God damn. Okay, let's see. Faction rules. We have Acts of Faith, which is the term each unit from one act of faith per phase. But your army will have to earn Miracle Dice. Yes! Yes! It sticks! Yes! Okay, it's probably going to be a little bit neuter, but that's okay. Oh my god. Okay, if your army faction is Adepta Sororitas, yes. Each unit from your army with this ability can perform one act of faith per phase. This is done using Miracle Dice. Okay, so this is the same. If your army faction, you gain 1 Miracle Dice at the start of each turn. Nice, so we still get the per turn. Each time an Adepta Sororitas unit from your army is destroyed. Interesting. So you don't get it for killing enemies anymore. You just get it for your own death and the start of each turn, which, I mean, you know, that's pretty sisters. Martyrdom is a huge part of their thing. Each time you get a Miracle Dice, or roll 1d6. Number you roll is your value. This value cannot be changed or re-rolled unless a rule specifically states otherwise. Keep it to one side. This is your Miracle Dice pool. Performing an act of faith. Before performing a dice roll for a model or unit from your army with the Act of Faith's ability, if you have 1 or more dice in your Miracle Dice pool, that you can perform an act of faith. If it does, select one of the dice from your Miracle Dice pool, substitute the dice roll. If a roll involves more than 1 dice, charge roll or battle shock test, only a single dice. Only a single dice can be substituted. Okay, so no more guaranteed 12-inch charges. I'm okay with that. I did think that the ability to have the right dice and automatically get a deep strike charge or do a nasty 12-inch charge from guaranteeing it basically was a little bit strong. I always thought I thought they were going to change that with like an old school, codex change, actually the 9th edition codex change. But they didn't. So this is actually very fascinating. So no more charge rolls like that. Nor the battle shock thing either, but if you use like a 6 for a battle shock test, I'm assuming most sister models are going to have like lead 7, so you'll auto pass it anyway because 6 plus minimum 1. But interesting. Okay, counts as an unmodified dice roll for the value of all purposes. Excellent. So still unmodified. Each Miracle Dice can only be selected for this substitution once. Once all Miracle Dice substitutions have been made, remove it from your dice pool and roll all remaining, etc., etc. Right, and it specifically says once it has been chosen, remove the chosen miracle dice from your dice pool and roll all remaining unsubstituted dice that are part of your dice roll. That's interesting. I don't know if that, because for a long time, us, sister players would roll all the dice but hold off one to determine if they want to do a miracle dice or not, to determine if that's like a good idea. This seems like it's kind of forcing you to do it first. Your form of active faith, if it does, select one of the dice from your miracle dice pool to substitute that dice roll. And roll all remaining unsubstituted dice that are part of that roll. Well, no, not necessarily. It says roll all remaining. This could just not be, there could just not be any more remaining, because in a sense, in 40K, technically you're supposed to roll each dice one at a time. That's the concept, is one at a time. But we all know that's stupid. So you don't do it one at a time. You're allowed to do it one at a time because, or you're supposed to, but you're allowed to fast roll because that's acceptable. Because it makes things so much faster. You would roll things like D3 damage, D6 damage one at a time if you're fighting multi wound units, because you don't want your opponent to be able to pick and choose in order to get the right damage in because they allocate the wounds. Example, if you're doing D6 damage and you're doing it against Terminators, you don't want to roll like a 1, 1, 4, 5, and then your opponent will be like, okay, I'll take the 1, then take the 4, then the 5. So they only lose 1 and then 2 guys, as opposed to you rolling it one at a time, which could be 4 kills a guy, 5 kills a guy, and then 2 wounds after that. So it depends. I think nothing really technically changes overall with this whole thing. I think it technically ends up the same. You may use the active faith for advance, battle shock, charge, damage, hit, saving throw, wound. That is identical, I think. The only thing that it doesn't have now is deny the witch, but it doesn't exist anymore, so that's okay. Battle shock test is just leadership now. Yeah, that's about the exact same. Yeah, no, that's about right. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, then you can do the active. This seems basically the same, minus how you gain. Though I know that there were lots of ways to gain more via the units in your army. Without getting a miracle dice per phase on when you kill something, that's actually gonna make you pretty starved for some miracle dice compared to 9th edition. But I'm assuming there will be ways to earn more miracle dice depending on characters and stuff. Triumph of St. Katherine, for example. Okay, cool. I'm very happy with this. I am very happy this is stayed. I was very scared. Oh, thank goodness. Let's see. Detachment rule, okay. The Blood of Martyrs. Each time a Sororitas unit from your army makes an attack, add 1 to the hit roll if it is below starting strength, and add 1 to the wound roll as if it is below half strength, as well if it's below half strength. Persistability of a unit at starting strength of 1 is considered to be below its starting strength while it has lost 1 or more wounds. Oh, okay. That's actually quite good. Wow. That is a flat out buff to the old school version of -1. Well, actually, if you add this with the, no, this was an additional miracle dice. I'm a bad Sisters player. I'm a bad Sisters player. I'm a bad Sisters player. I didn't even notice. I'm a bad Sisters player. I'm hanging up my badge. I realize, no, you normally only gain miracle dice overall when a character died in the original game. When a character died. This is any unit. Any unit. It also does not say per phase. It says you gain 1 miracle dice when this happens. It does not say, it does not state, oh wait, there's so much more going on here. Okay. Before, you would gain your miracle dice at the end of the phase. So if your character died at the end of the phase, you would then get your dice. Same thing when you kill an enemy, you would then get your dice. However, because now it doesn't say at the end, Each time face on the miracle dice, the number you roll is the value of miracle dice. The value says blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So every time a sister's unit dies, you gain a miracle dice right there and then, which is actually really fluffy because as multiple sisters dies, like you could argue that one of them is like you could juice one of them up with the miracle dice, though you can only use one per phase still. Okay, so this is actually taken from the Order of Our Martyred Lady, because the Order of Our Martyred Lady allows you to gain a miracle dice every time a unit died, whereas in normal, it was just character. And the other half of Martyred Lady was under starting strength, got +1 to the hit roll. So now this is both, well, okay, remember, this is a detachment rule, so this could be swapped out later on when we get a codex. But this is basically playing as Our Martyred Lady, but a juiced up Our Martyred Lady. Because not only do you get the +1 of the hit roll, but you also get +1 of the wound roll if you're below half, and now characters can get +1 to the hit roll as well, which is really fascinating. I do know that, does a character get below half strength if they are under half wounds as well? Because I know that you are able to do that with, what is it? Battle shock tests. If you're under half wounds, you would take a battle shock test. Aha. Okay, here we are. 2d6 for every unit that's below half strength. That means they're a squad with less than half of their starting models, or a single model with less than half of their starting wounds. So yes, you can get plus. Wow. Okay, imagine you take Morven Vol down to like 2 wounds, and she just says, sucks to suck, dude. I'm hitting it +1 to hit and +1 to wound. That is a very good detachment rule. I mean, of course, it depends on how killy the game ends up being. It looks like the game is getting less killy, but looks can always be deceiving. And we might just outright die and then not get these buffs. But if you don't outright die and get these buffs, oof, that's actually quite the rule. Wow. Okay, so you're not as starved on Miracle Dice as I thought, because you get 10 in a game, and you also get 1 for each unit that dies. So you're automatically Martyred Lady across the board, no matter what. And there's still probably ways to get dice otherwise, but this is actually, I kind of like this because it rewards you to take more sisters units in general, which I've always enjoyed. I like a big chunky amount of sisters. But also at the same time, it also is. It stops you from having the issue where you kind of are starved for miracle dice because you're fighting things that don't have many models. Custodes, knights especially, killing things would give you miracle dice before, and fewer enemies to kill means less dice. So I'm actually pretty pleased with this. It also just says right there, no end of phase stuff. That you can only perform 1 act of faith per phase, which is acceptable. And only 1 for charge rolls. It'll still make deep strike charges pretty secure. You just need to roll another dice on a 3 up, and that turns your original, if you use a 6, that turns your original deep strike chance of like what, 20-something percent, 22%, 27% to a 66 or 67% rounded up, which is pretty good. So we'll see. Anyway, let's move on. They did a triumph. Oh my god, they did a triumph. Oh my god, I'm such a little baby boy. Holy shit. Oh my god, they did the triumph. They chose the triumph. Wow. God, I cannot believe it. Wow. Okay. Movement 6 inches, lovely. T3, 3 up save, 4 up invul save, 18 wounds. We're on brand. 6 leadership and 6 OC. It is a leader. Okay, so it actually fits in with other. Wow, really? You fit this in with other stuff? God damn. It has acts of faith. When it is damaged 1 to 5, its attacks of its weapons are halved. You can only access 1 ability when using its matriarchs instead of 2. It has infantry, keyword, grenades, character, etc., etc. Okay. And then at the start of the battle round. No, at the start of the battle round, not command phase, battle round. So I have 2 of the abilities in the relics of the matriarchs section. See left. You can pick 2. Weapons. It has 6 attacks with its bolt pistols. It hits on 2s now. Oh, thank God. It hit on 3s before, and I never understood why. And then it has 18 attacks with its relic weapons at 5.2.1. Okay, it's a bit of a mix. Okay, so before you would have 14 attacks, but 4 of them were made at 6.3.2, and 10 of them were made at 5.1.1. So now it is 18 attacks, so it's 4 more attacks, but with only 1 profile, but at 5.2.1. So it's only the relic weapons. It has an extra pip of AP, and it is hitting on 2s now, which is pretty great. I do like that quite a bit. So that is a big difference, and I do like to see that. At 18 attacks is quite the blender. Wow, it'll put some hurt on some things. It might not kill anything like super elite, but that's a lot of attacks. Wow. Okay, let's see what they've done with this. The Fiery Heart. While a Sororitas unit within 6 inches of this model is destroyed, the merit dice you gain as a result is automatically a 6. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. All right. While a friendly Sororitas unit with this within 6 inches improve the unit's leadership characteristic by 1. That's it's okay. Might be good against certain armies like demons and stuff. Because in a sense, leadership is basically +1 to battle shock tests. Ebon Chalice, my favorite. While a unit within 6 of this phase can perform any number of acts of faith instead of just 1. Any number? Not just 2? Any number? Oh, Tim Allen mode? Any number? Oh, that's so fun. Okay, the old Ebon Chalice one I really liked, which was just this like spiltering of mortals. It wasn't amazing. It was okay, but it was just like 5-up chance to do mortals in this big circle, which was always a lot of fun to do. So this is a little unfortunate that's not that anymore. However, any number, and it's Adepta Sororitas, so it can't mean itself. Could you imagine? Could you imagine if you just stacked up like 4-ups and you were just like, oh, 6 wounds of 6 damage against Katherine. Sorry, dude. Let me pull out my bag of holding full of dice and say no. Simulacrum of the Argent Shroud, which is +1 to the attacks characteristic of rapid fire weapons. Okay, so it makes your bolters and storm bolters a bit better. That's fine. That's fine. I can see that. Valorous Heart, while a friendly unit within 6 inches, fuse the 6-up, feel no pain. Oh, wow. And that includes itself. 6-up, feel no pain on an 18 wound model is actually not bad. Wow, that, okay. And while a friendly Bloody Rose within 6 inches, melee weapons have the lethal hits ability. So 6 is auto wound. Interesting. Interesting. And you get to pick 2 so long as they're not wounded. So naturally for me, my first thought is, my first insane thought is to, oh, they lost -1 to hit as well. I just noticed that. They did lose -1 to hit. Okay, interesting. Is to load up, because it says only Adepta Sororitas units. I wonder if certain Ministorum units will just be called Adepta Sororitas now. They'll just have the keyword. Because if that's the case, I would load up on tons of single wound infantry, things like Crusaders and Death Cults and all that kind of stuff, and just surround her and just get 6s out the wazoo. If that is a possibility, though it might not be. I gotta say, the Ebon Chalice one can come in major clutch if you think you're gonna be taking lots of damage. Same with the Valorous Heart ability. And then the Argent Shroud, I like that it increases a bit of gun as well. It's really nice to see a bit more just like weapon variants with that as well, because sisters were always so focused on melee. A little bit of extra shooting is really nice to have. These are all good. The only one I'm a little iffy on is Sacred Rose, because +1 leadership is just like by itself is a little bit eh. If it was reroll battle shock tests, I would have been pretty cool with it. But +1 leadership is like, it's okay. It's okay. We'll see. We'll see how it turns out. Anywho, wow, I can't believe they gave me Katherine. That is so exciting. Heaviest Fire combined with that kind of Valorous Heart keeps them stay alive. Fiery Heart gets, or Valorous Heart, Fiery Heart gets 2/6. And we get Battle Line Sisters. I see more of it all peeking out. Oh my God. Okay. Let's see. Battle Sister Squad. 6 T3, 3 up, 1 wound, 7 save, 2 OC. Literally exactly what I thought about. The data sheet of all time. Infantry, grenades, battle line, battle sisters. Invulnerable save, 6 up. Oh. They kept their shield of faith a little bit. I guess there's no denying the witch to be had anymore, right? So, oh, that's so exciting. Oh, that's so cool. Sweet. Okay, 6 up. Wow. A faction X of Faiths, of course. Oh, we did lose Sacred Rites. We did lose Sacred Rites, the passion, that kind of stuff. That could become a detachment rule in the future, though. I bet that can become a detachment rule. That's good to note. I wasn't thinking about that. Okay. Cherub. Once per battle, after this unit has performed an act of faith, you gain 1 miracle dice. Okay, so the Cherub is basically a free miracle dice use for the squad. Defenders of the Faith. That used to be a stratagem. At the end of your command phase, for each objective marker you control that has 1 or more units from your army with this ability within range of it, you gain 1 miracle dice? Oh my God. Oh my... oh no. Wait, that's just 5 free miracle dice. If you hold your home objective the entire game, you just put a Battle Sister squad on it. And you just gain a miracle dice. I mean, it's probably 2, because you're probably gonna hold like 2 for the most part, maybe like 1 minimum, probably 2. And if you're winning, oh my God, the farther you push into the enemy, the more dice you're gonna get. That makes me really want to take Battle Sisters. War gear abilities: Simulacrum Imperialis. Each time a unit in this is destroyed by this bearer's unit, gain 1 miracle dice. Ah, okay, so you can gain the miracle dice extra by using the Simulacrum. So you gotta kill something with the Battle Sister squad with the Simulacrum. So the Simulacrum does not let you use an additional act of faith. Now it allows you to gain more miracle dice instead. Wow, Defenders of the Faith is something else. Holy shit. Holy. Okay. Wow. Let's look at the rest. We'll go with melee weapons first. Yep, okay, they still hit on 4s in melee. They hit like guardsmen in melee, unfortunately. Chain sword, exactly what I expected. Power weapon, 1 extra attack, still hits on 4s, +1, yeah, this is all the same, +1 strength, and then 2 AP. Okay, we're all doing the same as I remember. Let's see. So bolt pistol, the same. Oh, fascinating. Wait, okay, let's go top to bottom. So we still have our Artificer Crafted Stormbolter. It is still 2 shots, rapid fire 2, 24-inch range, still hitting on 3s, 402. So we still have the 2 damage variation of it. Okay, that's good to note. Bolt pistol's the same. The bolt gun is interesting. It's not the same as the CSM bolt gun. The CSM bolt gun is 2 shots outside to 24, no rapid fire. Now, this bolt gun is the old school bolt gun. 1 shot, 12 inches is an extra shot. Huh. Interesting. That's not quite what I expected. But hey, you know, that is what it is. It automatically makes me think of the Triumph and loading up on Stormbolters to fire 3 shots out, maybe 5. Be kind of crazy. Heavy Bolter is heavy, hits on 4s, so classic, 3 shots. Has sustained, hits 1. That's pretty good. There's the Melt-A-Gun, of course. Ministorum Flamer is okay. It's much like the old one. Same with the Heavy Flamer. They both get an extra pip of strength. So our Flamers are strength 5 and strength 6, respectively. And then the Multi-Melta is heavy, 2 shots, 18-inch range, hitting on 4s, 9, 4d6. Okay, this is pretty much everything I expected. I just thought the Bolter would be the same as the CSM, so that's a little bit surprising to me. Yeah, weapons are all exactly what I thought they would be. 2 damage Stormbolters and the rest. Wow. You know, actually, I must say, the Stormbolters might see a bit more play now, not only to be able to be buffed up by the strength of the extra shots with the Triumph, but now that you can't get a cover save that rips you down to a 2 up, you might just be able to force saves on people with enough shots, you know? enough shots and enough 3-up fails, you might actually be able to tear into some stuff, some Marines. Defenders of the Faith is insane, dude. That is insane. I cannot believe that's the case. Simulacrum is also pretty good. I don't know the point costs of having to get a cherub and a simulacrum, but wow, that is crazy. Okay. Obviously, you can party Defenders of the Faith on an objective. You gain Miracle Dice every round, but it gets better. Use an Active Faith to help blast your foes off of it. And you gain Miracle Dice from your creepy little cherub. +1 for destroying. Yeah, that's extremely good. Okay. What's up, Marvin Vol? Morbin time. Lance of Illumination. Strike. It's on 2s, of course. 5 attacks, 8-2-3, or 10 attacks at 5-1-1. Devastating wounds. Okay, this is a little nerfed, if I remember my Morven as well as I do. I don't know if she has the full rerolls to hidden wound like she used to have. Probably not, so it's probably much more nerfed. But Morven hits on 5 attacks still at, I think, 8-3-3? Yeah, 8-3-3, and then a mortal in addition. So now it's 8-2-3 mortals instead of with devastating wounds, which is pretty good. But Strength 8 is not what it used to be. Strength 8 would wound most tanks and stuff on 4s. Now it will wound them on 5s. So it is definitely a nerf in terms of the strength overall and your wound ability. But actually, if she's halfway wounded, that Blood of the Martyrs would be pretty good. And then the sweep, what was the sweep before? 5-2-1. So now it's 5-1-1. That's fine. Morven Vol always kind of hit like a truck. So I think this is actually a perfectly reasonable thing. Brings the AP down a bit along with the rest of the game, and possibly not full hits to wound. Ooh, the Exorcist. Hello, Exorcist. So one of my favorite models. I love this thing. Blast Heavy, ignores cover, indirect fire. We've got the Conflagration Rockets, which are 3d6. Hits on 3s, 5-0-1. So it is all. This is the first preview of indirect fire. The Exorcist finally gets indirect fire. It finally gets indirect fire. After all these years, it finally gets indirect fire. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. I think it's 5-2-1 or 5-1-1. Was the other, the prior one. I think that's the same number of shots, though. 5-1-1. So it still ignores cover. 5-1-1, 3d6. So now it is 36-inch range, too. It was old. The old one was 48 inches. So it's 36-inch range, still 3d6. But the blast is nice, because then you can get some extra hits. The heavy is nice, because then you can be hitting on 2s. And it still ignores cover, but we lost an AP. So that's not too bad. The missile launcher version is also heavy and indirect fire with D6 plus 2, 10 to D6. Now it's 8 to D6. So from a, though it has, I'd argue, a better attack profile. D6 plus 2 is better than, well, no, 3D3. 3D3 is an average of 6. This is an average of 5 or 6. So, but it's swingier. And no, it's about the same, actually. It's just less consistent. Whatever. It's about the same-ish. Strength is a little bit better at strength 10 from 8. But it'll still be wounding some of the big things on 5s. Minus a couple other stuff. Though the heavy is good. All right, indirect fire. This might be the most terrifying phrase ever. This is a game-ruining thing. Let's read it. Known as indirect fire, the attacks can be made with them even if the target is not visible to the attacking model. These attacks can destroy enemy models in a target unit even though none of them have been visible. If no models in a target unit are visible to the attacking unit when you select that attack, each time a model in this attacking unit makes an attack against the indirect fire, subtract 1 from the hit roll, and the target has the benefits of cover. Okay, so it's not -1 ballistic skill. It's -1 to hit. And they will always have the benefit of cover. So if I'm firing this, the heavy is to undo the -1 to hit if I am stationary only. And then I can ignore the cover that they gain with the conflagration rockets, but it's AP zip, so it doesn't really much matter. Um, and okay. This that interesting. That's good to note. The Exorcist was never the problem with indirect. That was guard, hive guard, and Tau for a while. The missile launchers. That was those were the times when indirect was really rough. This seems fine. I like the fact that if you fire at somebody directly and you're stationary, you hit on 2s, which is lovely. You don't have the minus. But overall, going to moving and then firing on a line of sight, hitting on 4s, I think is pretty balanced. Even not moving, getting the minus and the plus means you're hitting on 3s still, which I think is also fine. And you're only ignoring cover with the AP zip rockets. The ones that are 2 do not ignore cover. So in a sense, you're actually getting only AP 1. You know, I'm okay with that. I'm always terrified of indirect fire because it's such a game-breaking rule. But you can't not have it because mortars and stuff are just so 40k anyway. So I think this should be okay. They get the benefit of cover no matter what. I think this might work. We might survive. We might survive this edition with the indirect. Maybe. We'll see. Lastly, the stratagem, and then we should be done, yeah? Rejoice the Fallen. Your opponent's shooting phase just after they resolved its attacks, 1 CP. One Sororitas unit from your army that has 1 or more of its models destroyed by the attacks. Your unit can shoot as if it were your shooting phase, but it must only target the enemy, that enemy when doing so, and only if it is a eligible target. Oh, really? 1 or more of its models destroyed. So I can fire... Oh... The old Rejoice the Fallen was 2 CP, and it was only if you were at half strength. This one is 1 CP, and only if you lose any number of models, and you can shoot right back at the enemy. Oh, don't just chip a single wound off my Retributor squad, boys. Don't just chip 1, and then 3 other Meltas are going to come your way. Ooh, that's actually nasty. I still don't quite know the CP specifications, but yoosh. Oh boy, that could be really spooky. All right. Adepta Sororitas are holy warriors that use a wellspring of faith to perform miraculous feats on the battlefield. This represents acts of faith. A rule to manipulate dice rolls just when you need them the most and snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. We want to capture the themes of self-sacrifice with a Hall of Mars detachment, and so as casualties rise, they resolve strengthens, and the battle systems become increasingly more powerful. The plethora of heroes and supporting characters, some of whom can join units even if another character is already in them. Adepta Sororitas players will have lots of combinations to consider when it comes to forging their army. Interesting. Oh, come on. I want to know. Even though the Sororitas during mirror matches, we're not showing off her stats, but it goes without saying she starts as the embodiment of the God Emperor's might and only gets deadlier. I think this is more of an Vol. The Bolter and Holy Trinity. Yeah, Bolter, Flamer, and Melt-A-Gun. Okay. Interesting. Overall, I am very pleased. We have lost Sacred Rites, but that's okay. Acts of Faith are looking very good. That you would get less miracle dice overall than before, but with what the Battle Sisters are fucking giving you, you're gonna get more because oh my god. Still only once per phase. They've nerfed the charge roll, which I think is a perfectly acceptable thing that was a little bit ridiculous at times, and I most certainly utilize that. Blood of the Martyrs is an amazing rule. It's so sisters, dude. Just all my friends are dead. No, they're not dead. They're with the God Emperor, and I must kill as much as I can before I join him. It's so perfect. And so, oh wait, they were talking about Saint Celestine. Just imagine how hard Saint Celestine will hit once a foolish enemy takes out her 2 Gemini Superior. That would make her below half strength, wouldn't it? Oh Lord. Goodness. Katherine is looking awesome. So fun. She hits better. She's a leader, which is good. She's still tanky as hell in terms of wounds. She doesn't have -1 to hit, but that's okay. And her abilities here are lovely. The only one I was a little iffy on was the Sacred Rose one, but that's fine. It could still be used, honestly. It says at the start of the battle round, I might actually bop this on if I'm fighting a Nid player, though. Just to be like, oh, start of the battle round. Okay, I don't want to get shadowed. Because it's before the command phase, technically, because it started the battle round. Ooh, maybe. Oh, that means I got to pick first, though, before they pick. Damn. Battle Sister squads are looking spicy. Oh, my God. I have like 60 Battle Sisters, too, so I'm really happy about that. Morven Val's weapon looks, pretty good. Exorcist is always a little scary because indirect fire, and but it looks pretty okay, I'd say. And this stratagem is gonna be something. Woo! Okay, I am very happy with what I'm seeing here. Very happy. I can't believe they kept Miracle Dice. I'm so giddy. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. I gotta go to the gym. So I will see you tomorrow for who knows what's next.